Keir Starmer arriving in Kyiv at dawn. This his final day as Labour leader, and this his final foreign trip as PM. A leader often more comfortable on the world stage than the one back home, choosing to spend his last big moment in the Ukrainian capital for a final embrace with his close friend and ally, President Zelensky. Here to pledge more fighter jets for the front line and reassure Zelensky that while his time in office may be over, the UK's support for Ukraine is not. Prime Minister, you're here in Ukraine today. This is your last big act as Prime Minister. What's your message to President Zelensky as you prepare to stand down?
The UK commitment to Ukraine will not waver. We will be there for as long as it takes and a long time afterwards.
So, PM, you've always said recently that you will not offer advice to your successor.
No.
But have you had assurances from him?
Well, I would not have said what I said to President Zelensky, which is really important if I wasn't confident about what I was saying.
You also said something you haven't said before today. You said you now believe Ukraine can win this war. You haven't said that before.
I believe Ukraine will win this war. What they've shown is that it's not just the size of your army, it's how you fight a modern conflict. And so they are probably the most effective fighting machine in Europe.
Yeah,
that is what 4.5 years. So they will win this conflict. They will get the justice.
Strong abroad, it was at home that Starmer's premiership stuttered. His party calling time on him in the wake of disastrous local election results. But the PM here to defend his record rather than reel off his regrets. Morgan McSweeney, your former chief of staff and your campaign manager who helped win that landslide, he said that we didn't prepare enough for office. Do you agree with that?
I agree with Morgan on many things, but not that. We've got the best growth in the G7, and we've stabilised the economy, even though we've got the conflict in Iran going on. Our NHS has got the fastest drop in waiting lists for 17 years. That's not just, that's not just a plan, that is a plan being implemented.
But
None of these things fall from the sky.
It was after a weekend spent at his country retreat Chequers, after conversations with his wife Vic and 2 children, that Keir Starmer made the final decision to stand down. Can I ask you, what did Vic say to you? Because what did Vic think?
Well, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of what Vic said, but I can tell you this. Through every step, she's been with me.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the challenging, the great moments, the victory nights, the really low moments when somebody tried to burn our house down, our family house, when my brother died. The last few months, which have not been easy, but she's been there at my side every step of the way. And so that's why we had to take the decision together.
Did the kids want you back? Did the kids want you to come back in that way? They want you to stand down?
Did. No, I don't think they wanted me to stand down, but they wanted me to spend more time with them. They're my pride and my joy. Every day I take pride in them, every little thing they do. It's an unconditional love for my children. This PM taking pride not just in his family, but in what he sees as a job well done.
You are very optimistic, actually, about walking out of the door.
I go with pride. I go knowing that I leave the country in a better state than I found it, and I go knowing I've left the foundation for Labour to win the next general election. So my final question is, as you hand on the baton, you believe that you set Andy Burnham up to win the next general election, and part of the next phase of this administration's success is your success? I hope so. We've built the foundation for this now, and Labour can go on and win that election. I think we'll go on and win that election. I'm proud to hand over the party in good shape to Andy Burnham, hand over the country in good shape to Andy Burnham. That was Keir Starmer's final interview in office, and it was not one he wanted to give, because this is a Prime Minister who wanted to go on for one full term, or perhaps more. Instead, he's been forced out by his party just 2 years into the job on the back of a series of unforced errors, a rising Reform Party and a terrible set of local election results.
For a leader who admits he hates to lose, it must be painful. But Starmer used these final days to set out what he sees as his legacy and show us his far more personal side as he ends his political career. On Monday, Starmer stands down as Prime Minister and returns to what he calls the most important job, being a husband and a dad. A hugely successful election winner who struggled in office, Starmer will hope history will judge him more kindly than his party did. Beth Rigby, Sky News, Kyiv.